staff. We've got a team from Pine Street School, and they are doing many projects throughout the year, and one of which is looking at sustainability. And for IDB, the lovely teacher is my wife Barbara, and so we've had a lot of discussions at home about our move into our new building, and apparently our lack of consideration for some of the sustainability things that you guys are thinking about. So we are very happy to have you guys here and tell us all the things that we need to be thinking about. So thank you.
All right. So thank you very, very much. You are all so busy, so we appreciate this time, and we don't want to waste any single minute of it. And so we are just going to let the kids go ahead, and they will introduce themselves. Okay.
Hello, we are grades 5 and 6, and we are here to convince you to turn IDB Bank into a sustainable bank. So, for us, sustainability isn't just a word or a trend. It's something that really matters to us. Because if we don't make these buildings sustainable, it's something that's going to affect us in our future. So, sustainability can be divided into 5 categories. Energy efficiency, which I chose to become a SME on, subject matter expert, and there is water efficiency, which Kenna chose to become a subject matter expert on. There is air quality, which Timon chose to become a SME on. There is sustainable materials, which Sadia chose to become a SME on. And then there's sustainable architecture, which Jackson chose to become a SME on. So, what exactly should you have in a green building? Well, whatever you have may not be the cheapest in the beginning, but later on it'll save you money. It will reduce your carbon footprint. Now that's something to brag about, and it'll be energy efficient. So, with energy, you have to be careful with lights. Studies show that if you leave an incandescent light on for 5 hours every day for 2 years, you'll spend $32. $32 on a single light bulb? Wow, that's a lot. But with an LED light bulb, if you leave it on for 5 hours every day for 2 years, you only spend $12. Studies also show that 95% of the energy used in an incandescent light bulb turns into heat, wasted heat, and only 5% turns into light. But with an LED light, it's the opposite. Only 5% only turns into wasted heat, and 95% turns into light. An LED light produces 20 times more light than an incandescent light. But LED lights aren't exactly spotlights. They can be beautiful modern things. See? This is an incandescent light, which you probably have up there, and this is an LED light. See the difference? But LED lights are good, but just not good enough. Occupancy sensors. So, what if you leave the LED light on? You're still wasting energy. Occupancy sensors sense when you leave the room, so they automatically turn the lights off. So, you're not wasting any money on places that aren't really, where there isn't much movement or passing by. Because let's say in an empty corridor, you're not going to leave the light on there all the time, only when someone's passing by, and then the light would shut off. So you wouldn't be throwing money in the garbage. Now we have Sadia, who's going to talk to you about sustainable materials.
Hi, my name is Sadia, and I'm allergic to 2 things, not 1, but 2. allergic to is concrete. Why? Concrete is made with cement. And cement is bad because it goes up into the atmosphere. You know, it's bad. The second thing I'm allergic to is plastic. Not plastic bags, but plastic. Plastic is made with petroleum, and petroleum is bad, which is a fossil fuel. Now, the materials that you should be using should be included with these 3 words. The first one is durable. Durable meaning long-lasting. Well, for example, we went to the Battery Park City Public Library and they had a chair about 5 years and it was still looking really nice, which comes from a sustainable area. Next, natural. Coming from a sustainable place, for example, if you want to use wood, it has to come from a sustainable area. And then beautiful, of course. You want an environment where people can be happy, people can communicate, and people can be happy to invite guests, like us. Now, Sadia's top 5 picks for IDB bins. So the first one is wood. Wood is good. Why not have wood? Wood, make sure you get wood from a source or a farm. Now, if wood is good, bamboo is better. Make sure, bamboo is actually tall, strong, and it grows really fast. If you can see here, I have bamboo right here. But then if you look in this picture, bamboo looks more neater and really nice, and it grows really fast. My third one is aluminum. Aluminum is very modern, it looks really nice, and it's one of the easiest materials to recycle. The fourth one is terrazzo. Terrazzo is recycled glass chips, and terrazzo, for me, it looks really rich. It looks so classic. I love it. I mean, yeah. And then the fifth one is carpet. Carpet made out of tire. Instead of throwing away the tire and not using it, you can make tire to carpet. You can actually get these small squares of tire and you can remove them. For example, say if I spill something or you spill something, you can actually remove the small pieces of tire and it'll be easy to replace. Now, myself, I did some research because I know a lot. I went to the Kalahari in Harlem with the Super Angel. See, that's me. And the Kalahari is actually it's actually a residential building, and it's a LEED Gold certified building. And actually, they have a green wall to help with asthma. Mostly they say is that the people who live there have one person at least who has asthma, and it really helps. Now, if you see the Kalahari, they have a lot of plants. And if you see this building, they have a lot of plants, which is the Grace building outside of it. And that makes people feel really good because they'll be really happy to be a part of nature. Now, it's air quality.
Okay, so did you know that 90% of our time is spent indoors? Not just in buildings, but counting cars and subways. And that means if the air quality is good, it would equal people be happy and they'll work together and share their ideas. So, what does poor air quality create? It creates fungi to grow and bacteria to spread. And those bacteria and fungi can lead to certain sicknesses such as allergies, asthma, respiratory infections,
and even a headache. And have you heard of a sick building syndrome? So a sick building syndrome is it's like a mix of a headache and a respiratory infection, which makes you not want to work because you can't breathe too well and you have a headache which hurts and then you can't think. So what does create the poor air quality? So firstly, bugs, because they attract dust mites and bacteria, which the rugs are not easy to clean. Secondly, we have poor ventilation. If the ventilation is poor, the bad air stays in and the good air can't come in because the bad air is kind of like blocking it. Thirdly, we have the overcrowded rooms, and right now in here it's okay, but say if the whole room was overflowing with people, the air quality would be worse because you breathe in the good air, but you release the bad air. And next, you have cleaning products. Cleaning products are clean, but they can be toxic for human health. And finally, we have the VOCs. VOCs stands for volatile organic compounds. These can be found in paints, stains, and varnishes. So what can help? So you can have carpets, but don't try to have them all over the place. Make sure the ventilation works, because then the air quality is going to be better and people are going to feel healthier. And try to buy low VOC paint, stains, and varnishes. So these are 3 more steps to improve it. So try to clean your air filters. Your air filters are inside the air ventilation. And if you don't clean them, well, then the bad air is going to start to come in, and maybe sometimes little particles can be flung into your office, and you do not want that. So, secondly, try to buy a monitor. That's an example of a monitor. It's basically a sensor that senses the air quality in a room. If it's good, 50-50, or like bad. And step 3, you have to put someone in charge to check them, the sensors. Because if you buy them all, you put them all over the place, but you don't check them, like, what are they gonna do? So, next we have Kenna.
My name is Kenna, and I'm here to talk to you about sustainable buildings and what makes a sustainable building a sustainable building. One thing that makes a sustainable building is water efficiency. How can you save water? First, don't be dumb, be smart. Step 2, use technology that's around us. Step 3, follow some of my steps. As you can see, this diagram shows how much water is in an office building. The most water is in the blue, which is 37%, which is in the bathrooms. That's a lot of water. The next chunk is the red, which is 28%, which is in the cooling and heating space, which that's a part of your building, so we can't fix that, which is okay. Then the next part is the green, which is 22%, which is landscaping, gardens. And I'm pretty sure you guys don't have any gardens around here. Next, we have the smallest chunk, which is the purple, 13%, which is in the kitchens. That half, the 13 with 37, I can help you and give you tips about how you can save water. First, we have faucet sensors. Let's say I want to wash my hands and it takes me a solid 10 seconds. Let's say I forget to turn the sink off and I get distracted by something or I want to talk to someone. I'll forget that the water is even running and I'll probably just leave the room and forget that the water could be running for who knows how long. But with the faucet sensor, it senses that hands are under, so then it blows water. But once you move your hands away, and if I do forget and I just move my hands away, the water will stop because it senses that there's no water. And who knows what germs are on there, or what germs are on the handles or the buttons. What if they coughed or sneezed into their hand? Who knows? Now let's move on to the bathrooms. You might think that it's pretty funny, just a kid like me talking to you about urinals. And you also might think that, waterless urinals, how gross is that? And you're like, how do I flush this? And you don't. So there's this liquid called blue seal, and the urine is heavier than the blue seal, so gravity pushes it down, and then the blue seal liquid pops right back up, and the urine doesn't. And the blue seal is also not just like this gross liquid, it's also a cleaning liquid, so it cleans it for you. Another thing is a dual flush toilets. So there are two buttons. One button is, you press one button and it gives you a little bit of water for number one. And then you press the other button. The other button brings more water for number two. So let's say we have, 500 people in an office and then they all go to the bathroom. 500 people go into the bathroom. And they always flush the toilet at least 3 times a day. 3 times. So 500 times 3, 1,500. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of water. So if you can control how much water you use by just pressing a button or two, that saves half of the water. Next we have water fountains. These water fountains are all around our school. So there's this little part where you can drink water casually, and also you can refill your water bottle with a sensor, and no plastic water bottles that are not plastic. And that little green, that's a sensor that tells you how many plastic that you're saving and not wasting. So if you question, if I'm doing this, what am I saving here? How much am I saving? And are you guys tricking me or something? But no, you can actually tell. Look out for these 2 labels, WaterSense and Energy Star. You're probably thinking, where do I get this stuff? Well, WaterSense, actually both of these are agencies that are run by the government and the U.S. And Energy Star is a label that helps save energy. And WaterSense is again the same thing, an agency that helps save water. Next we have Jackson talking about sustainable architecture.
Alright, so my name is Jackson, and as Gabby and Kenna both mentioned, I am talking about a little thing called sustainable architecture. Now, I've chosen 3 things that are a part of sustainable architecture. Those things are green walls, daylighting windows, and biophilic design. Now, let's start with reasons why you should have green walls. First off, they look amazing as a decoration in your building. Like, imagine if someone was walking by and instead of like a painting. So if someone's walking by, they look in the building like, oh, Picasso, seen it before. But if someone will walk by and look inside the building and see a green wall, they're like, oh, a green wall. I actually haven't seen this in many buildings. I should go check it out, which will most likely cause people to come back to the building quite frequently. And I think we can all agree that green is just a very friendly color, just in general. And also, green walls are, if you don't know, plants absorb carbon dioxide, CO2, and they release it into natural oxygen, O2. It's kind of like the opposite of us. We take in oxygen and then we'll release carbon dioxide. And with that, releasing the natural oxygen can improve our alertness and energy in general. So now we have daylighting, and this place right here is actually I think it's a restaurant in Israel, or a general green building in Israel. And that right there is a green wall that I just talked about. So daylighting basically means putting more windows so you could capture better sunlight and have more sunlight, which also just natural light, and it is very great because not only does it brighten the building, but it also gives it a friendlier look. Also, reflective surfaces. If you have reflective surfaces, I'm not talking about like a window. No, I'm not talking about a mirror. Not mirror, no. But just like this table. This could be used as a reflective surface to allow the light to bounce off and get to other parts of the building that are harder to reach in terms of light. And it gives everyone walking by a nice view. Alright, and lastly, well, this is kind of a part of the second one, is windows and glass partitions. Now, glass partitions basically means instead of having like a little office space where you're working, instead of just having a plain wall, you could have glass walls to help get the light into your office, and it also gives you more energy, like the green wall, and also you can see what other people are doing. And just more windows, like we talked about in the last one. And as I said, increased energy, nice view, and it improves the light. So our last topic to discuss is kind of it's the topic that wraps the sustainable architecture all up. That word is biophilic. It is the one word that is the world topic. So biophilic is basically, the word biophilic means to be more connected with nature, and you could do this by adding vegetation to your building, like that, like a plant, exactly, and natural texture, like a carpet, like a biophilic carpet. This is a biophilic carpet because it gives you the idea that it is real grass. And living walls. Living walls is another name for green walls, or simply a potted plant. Everything counts. This is an example of a biophilic workspace because it has daylighting over there, plants everywhere, and green wall right there, and a biophilic carpet. And this is basically what a sustainable building looks like.
So, thank you for inviting us and letting us share our ideas, and I hope you can do something with those ideas. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay. On your mark, get set.